everybody, and welcome to Profit Mission Control. This is Matt, and we are going to go over the weekly recap for the week ending October 6, 2017. I hope you guys are doing great. We had a great profitable week last week. So many winners, so many intraday crazy alerts, and we are just in a super duper high momentum stock market right now. We don't know when that's going to stop, but if it doesn't stop, we're all going to make money. So let's go over quickly the recap for the market. And I just want to start with the indices. The first thing is IWM. We talked about that last week. And if you notice, the chart just continues to chug higher. It started this week with a bang, breaking out of actually this channel a little bit briefly for another day, and then started consolidating back into the channel. But the Russell 2000 hit an all-time high pretty much here on Wednesday and Thursday. It's failed to break it, so it's still kind of stuck, but it's moving sideways with very strong momentum. We had very huge volume on this day on last Friday of last week, I believe, or Thursday of last week, and then we just continue to go higher. If you look at the SPY, same thing, same story on the SPYs. We've had all-time highs multiple times this week. Just continue to move higher and higher and higher, and then on Friday we cooled off a little bit. We still ended up green on Friday despite the fact that it was a little bit weaker day. The volume still remains healthy above average volume, which tells us the market is not showing any signs of reversing at the moment. It could happen anytime because we have multiple gaps that haven't been filled, like this gap over here. We have a gap over here, sort of been filled, but it's possible that we might eventually come back and test this area again in the next few weeks or months, maybe days. We never know. But for overall, looks really good. Even the Nasdaq, the Qs, all-time highs as well, and just showing no signs of stoppage. Just keep going. So fantastic performance so far on these charts, on these main indices. Now the other thing that's going on, it's kind of the season. It's the season for the low cap stocks, and I think I talked about it last week as well. This is the time of the year when the small caps start doing these crazy moves. And I ran a quick scanner in Trade Ideas that I want to share with you here. And this one shows a lot of stocks that have been more than 40% gain over the last 10 days. We've seen multiple intraday moves of 100 to 300% in some cases, but all these names have been all over the place. ECYT up 300% in the last 10 days. YECO up 300% in the last 10 days. IZEA, HMNY, MNKD, CLSN, and the list continues. This is just phenomenal. It is the time to grow small accounts. You still have to understand your entry and exit targets. So maintaining risk management is absolutely important, even if you trade these stocks. Know when to get in. I know when to get in because I get the right alerts on Trade Ideas. I have set up a couple of intraday scanners that help me out. One of them is called the Dodeca alert. One of them is called the Quadra alert. They're very similar. One is called the Blast Off alert. And all of these have been firing up these kind of stocks. The main thing is the thrust in volume within like a 1 minute time frame or 5 minute time frame, plus obviously the percent growth over the prior close. Now, you can set up these scanners if you have Trade Ideas or if you have other software platforms. It will give you kind of some of these early signs of stocks that are on the move. But if you're not paying attention to these or not taking opportunity in these, you are missing the boat big time. We still have our steady movers in the launch list. which some of them are a mix of small caps and large cap stocks. Some of them are slower movers, but yet they are good movers. If your trading style does not tolerate playing in these small caps or risking, a lot of money, you can still share, position your shares size accordingly and take the emotions out of it. But if you're seeing stocks that are making intraday, 100%, 40%, even 20% moves, these are significant moves. So just kind of remember that this is the time of the year when this happens. We've had very, very slow summer, and we're finally starting to see momentum coming back in. All right, now let's go and take a quick look at the recap results. I'm not going to go a lot of detail like I typically do on the weekly recap. I've been trying to publish daily recaps over the last week, so most of these stocks we've covered through those. I'm going to only cover the ones that launched on Friday, or we had, taking profit or loss on Friday. But overall, we had 20 total launches for this week. One of them, which is WEB, was both on the losing side and then on the winning side. We had a total of 14 winners, 6 losers, puts us at 70% accuracy for the week. We had planned a profit to risk or average of 140%, which is the average of this column here. So all the trades that we were looking at, we were only intending to go 140%. We actually ended up with 153%. And overall profit per share, $4.73. So if you multiply that by number of shares you would typically trade, that gives you the total profit for the week. We held on average the stocks for 1 day, no more. Most of them have been 0 days, some 3 days, 5 days, but if you average it out, it's about 1 day hold, and the average profit per launch of 3.9%. So overall, great week. The stocks that kind of were losers, so we out of the 6 losers, 4 of them, ZUMZ, ILG, HMN, WEB, actually they went again through the launch price and the profit target and could have been winners had we traded them again. The only one that I did was WEB because the setup looked really good. But if you look at HMN, ILG, and Zooms, they all actually made it back through the launch price and profit targets after the first attempt was a failure. So that tells you more that the setups are usually correct. It's just a matter of timing. And you can take opportunity of those. Unless something really breaks down pretty bad, it's more likely that it will just come back and reverse, especially with this upward thrusting market. So the ones that we haven't talked about would have been the stocks that launched on the 5th. So APVO was APVO. That's a special case. That's the only stock that I traded actually pre-market. I shifted the entire. So these numbers, by the way, are incorrect. I just want to let you know. Well, no, I'm sorry. I take that back. They are correct. They are different than when the list was published on the 29th because I moved everything by 33 cents when I saw the news and the pre-market action on the 5th. So there was news that came out. It made a huge upward momentum. There's a nice setup to enter at 285. I think the initial entry should have been at 252, but it blasted through that pre-market. So I entered at 285, took profit at 303, sorry, at 352. But if you shifted everything, there was 33 cents to continue to maintain the profit to risk and profit targets as a plan. In reality, I realized profit at 352, which was a 23% winner, about 67 cents on APVO, and I think it continued to go even higher than 352. So let's take a quick look at these stocks on the chart and go over these setups and how they were traded. The ones that I'm going to talk about again, so the first one is APVO, and have to get the 5-minute chart to take a look at it. So this is how it played out. APVO on Thursday. Like I said, there was news pre-market. This was our initial profit target at 252 launch price, and our profit target. I didn't capture it there, but I captured it at the 252 level, right here. Sorry, I entered at 285, which was right over here. You know, after this peak down, come down here, it was consolidating sideways. I took it at 285, and then as soon as the market opened, it blasted up to all the way to 382, and then I took my profit at 352 on the way down, somewhere over here. When it was basically showing no signs of potentially breaking a new high, so I took the profit there. So it was a fantastic winner. Our initial window was, again, launching at 252 and taking profit at 270 actually. So once it opened pre-market, even way above that, I found a nice setup at 285 and took it up there. So that was a good winner on the 5th. The second stock I want to talk about would have been CTSO. That one also launched on Friday towards the afternoon, so most of the day it was quiet, and then Thursday, and then late in the afternoon, it just broke through that level of our launch price of $6.35 with a profit target at $6.60, and it just quickly, within 1 hour, 40 minutes roughly, it hit that profit target. I was out at 655, so down here, and took the profit on that one. After that, it reversed, but it was a quick. I mean, if you don't have the alert set up, as soon as I get an alert on text message, if I happen to be on my platform, I get on my platform. If I happen to be away from my platform, I get a text message. The order goes in and executes. So that was the second stock on Friday. What else did we have? And then we had one winner, which was ATKR. One loser, ATKR. And that one launched on Thursday, and then I took a loss on Friday. It was just very slow moving. It was very choppy, and so this is where it is. So ATKR launched at 1985 right here, and the goal was to secure some profit at around $20.25. So the idea was to launch at 985 and go to 2025. And I talked about this last week, said that this one, the 100-day was piercing the profit window, so it might have trouble. Right now, the 100 seems to be, closing down and down. Maybe eventually there will be a breakout above 1985 when the 100 reaches or catches up with this resistance level. Then the breakout becomes even more strong. It still has a gap to fill, so I think this is a nice one. It might, just keep it on your alerts above 1986. It was a loser for us because we had to abort at the abort price of what was it for this one? 1960. So right at this line, I had to exit. It dropped below that even on Friday. So the selling days were below average. The buying days, it's been moving up on strong volume. I think this will eventually crack the 1985 and then thrust upwards. It has all this gap to fill. Probably the first resistance level will be somewhere around here, the 2025, just a good 40 cents sort of profit target. But that was a loser anyway. Now the ones I want to show you are some of the winners. So some of the losers, like FIT. This one was more of greed. Could have taken profit. It launched here second day. It kind of held on this $7.14, but never failed to break it. In hindsight, could have taken profit there, but I didn't. I held on to it, thinking that it was gonna come back and break the 7 and move forward, but it didn't. So that was a loss. So that was the only case where the FIT and ATKR that I just covered, the only two cases where the launch window did not represent itself again. Now, if you look at HMN, which was a loser from Wednesday, so Wednesday it launched and then it came down, aborting us, But then on Thursday, sorry, this was Thursday. Then on Friday, you go to 5-minute chart here. Had you kept your eye on this setup, charts are taking longer to load. I apologize, but something is wrong with the system today. Let me close trade ideas. Maybe that's why. I'm starting to get warnings because I have too many indicators on my charts that it takes longer to process. All right, there we go. Phew. So, so HMN, this is, and I talked about HMN, is that on Wednesday I entered at $40 instead of $40.05. I just put it in the wrong order and ended up aborting. Now, comes Thursday, it did launch, held on, and then continued and went to the profit target at $40.50. So if you trade this Thursday, Friday, you would have made profit. I ended up, unfortunately, trading it Wednesday and losing on Wednesday. But that's one case where the setup is good. It's just the timing is bad. The second one was like that ILG. And ILG also showed same thing, launched here on Wednesday, aborted on Wednesday, unfortunately, traded sideways, and then Friday it decides to, again, break through the launch price, hit the profit target in less than 10 minutes, and, you know, still holding above that profit target, or within the profit zone. But this would have been a successful launch. 29.05 through 29.50 would have been a good one, but ended up aborting there. And then the other one I talked about was ZU and Z, and that one also was a loser on the first attempt, which was here. Very, very small entry there, but then ended up aborting at 19.15 here. So, and went here, aborted there, but then it made a move pre-market actually on, which maybe wasn't considered a valid, but sometimes pre-market, like I trade, sometimes pre-market. It blasted through the launch and profit targets pre-market on the 4th, so could have been another winner. It was a loser for me on the 3rd. No, sorry, on the 4th. So this would be aftermarket then, aftermarket. All right. That's all the stocks that we covered, most of them in the daily recaps. If you haven't watched those videos, please go there. Please give them thumbs up if you like them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like this content. Overall portfolio growth for this week, we added $11,825 out of 547 total launches to date. Brings up the total portfolio to 374K, and a portfolio growth of almost 1,400%. It is insane, but it's all about risk management, spending hours every night looking up at stocks, hundreds of charts to make sure that the right setups are selected, executing the plan as prescribed, and taking your emotions out of it as much as you can. It's hard. It's easily said than done. Trust me. I know how it is, but you know, just persistence, due diligence, homework is all key to being successful. Performance card for the year. I updated this a little bit. I added the profit factor now, and we talked about that in length last week. So go watch last week's profit recap. I talked about profit to risk ratio, profit to loss ratio, and actual profit factor. So again, in summary, we're inching up to an accuracy of 64% for the whole year, which is really, really good. The total profit per share, $140 almost per share. Profit factor is 4.71. So what's the difference between the profit factor and the profit to loss ratio? Well, this profit to loss ratio is a ratio of the average winner to the average loser. But this one is the actual overall profit. So this shows that my profit was 4.7 times more than my loss. This one shows that my average winner is 2.6 times my average loser. So there's a distinction of what these mean. But overall healthy growth, we continue to chug along. This year is shaping out to be a fantastic year. Also on the weekly accuracy, so this week we had a little bit of a dip from 76% to 70%, yet still kind of in the averaging, like we said, for the whole year 64%, so it was an above average week in terms of accuracy. And in terms of profit profit percentage, again, it's kind of very close to the average. You were at, I think, 4.17 versus 4.121 or something like that. So continue to curl up a little bit. Hopefully this fourth quarter will bring us up to same levels we were at the beginning of the year, which typically is the case unless we have some kind of black swan event that the market crashes or whatever. Hopefully that doesn't happen. In terms of risk management, so for the year, profit to loss ratio is 265% and accuracy is at 64%, puts us well within this profit zone area. For this week, we were planning to be at a profit to risk ratio of 140%. We ended up actually at 153%. Accuracy ended up at 70%, which puts us within, again, the green zone for the week. If you want to go look at the recap for October 4th, you will notice that I talked about this just for that given day. And that was a good example because it showed it was a losing day overall. And it showed how we ended up in this loss zone. We had a healthy profit to loss ratio, but the accuracy was bad. So it puts us well within this area here. I'd recommend you go watch that video of October 4th, and you'll know more about what I'm talking about. Stocks that are currently in flight. Believe it or not, HPE remains in flight since September 26th. So this would probably be I don't know if it's the second week. It feels like we've held it onto it for a long time. But if I go look at this chart, let's look at the chart of HPE. So it was attractive because it looked like it was about to break out and move forward, but it seems like now it's trapped in a sideways trending range. Still makes it a valid launch. It just could take a little bit longer to actually capture the profit. So we'll wait and see for that. Wait and see on this chart to load. I apologize for the slowness of the chart. Oh, it is actually there. Sorry, looking at the wrong thing. So yeah, it's been trending sideways basically. It actually pre-market on the 4th went below the abort price, but I never exited. Wasn't even paying attention to that at that time. Maybe I was chasing something else pre-market. But I'm still holding on to it. It's moving sideways. The goal there is to get to 1530, which is above this view here. You can't see, but it's been trending sideways. The idea was to break 1491 and continue. So we're sort of a little bit in the red actually on this one, but still above the abort price. The second one that's still in flight is PGTI. That one also launched at the beginning of this week. A very, very slow mover. A couple times it actually hit the abort price, but again, didn't fill an order on that one. So I kept holding on to it. It's moving sideways. Next week I'll decide on both of those to just maybe exit if they don't continue to move higher, or eventually hit the abort and break through. But I'm holding on to these two as still in flight. And then the ones that are still waiting on launch, I reviewed the list a little bit, took out some of the ones that I know won't have a good potential. I've also added this column for target profit on a dollar basis, so it's clear to you what the opportunity is. The oldest one is ACIA from 825, so most of these I've talked about. The only three that probably are worth mentioning are EMES, YNDX, Pixelwork, and I think those I covered in the October 4th video, so just go look at that and you'll look at the setups and find them out. It should be good. All right, that is it. I made it short and sweet this week, but I also want to share with you this month code for Trade Ideas. If you like to go and make a subscription Trade Ideas, it helps the channel. It helps me spend the time and publish the stuff. I mean, I do it for myself for my own trading reasons, but I don't have an obligation to go and publish all this information and process it the way I do. I do it to help most of you out there. So the way I do it is through Trade Ideas, and the software has changed the way I trade, and even my intraday alerts that I got, like Lino, LINU on Friday, it came from Trade Ideas. All my other like intraday alerts, they all come from Trade Ideas. So if you want to learn more, just go to profitmissioncontrol.com/trade ideas. And I've fixed the link that wasn't working. If you had seen my video on October 4th, you've seen there was some issue with the link. But so if you go to profitmissioncontrol.com, up here there is Trade Ideas link. It will take you to a page where I describe to you kind of the different packages they have, what type, the standard versus the premium offering, and what kind of features are existing in each one of them, and what the differences are. And then I have the links for you to go. If you click on these links, you support me and support the channel. And then you put the code. Basically, the code for this month is FinTech. And if you go and click on one of these, I'm going to open in a new tab. It will take you to the subscription page, and you just have to put the code. And you should get the discount applied right away. So it takes $14.85 off of the $99 per month subscription. The other thing I want to alert you to is this Trade of the Week newsletter. So every week Trade Ideas sends out a newsletter with only one stock that could be a potential good swing play, and their data and accuracy on their swing play picks have been fantastic. So it doesn't cost anything. Just go click here, sign up for the Trade of the Week. You'll get one email once a week that tells you all about the Trade of the Week, and what stock it is, and when to enter, when to exit. All that stuff will be provided in there. All right, so with that, I will leave you right now. I hope you have the rest of the weekend. Maintain a fantastic rest of the week. I do want to remind you to join me on any of these social medias if you haven't done so at all. I'm on StockTwix, very active, and on Twitter, very active, and then Facebook, YouTube. This is the channel. If you like the channel, please click on this icon and subscribe or watch more. Have a great week, guys.